to Straight to the Point series. We are now on episode 5, and we are going to be really starting this episode off with a question, which is, are you afraid that bringing all of you online, bringing your vulnerability is going to hurt your brand? And we are going to talk about our own personal experiences in that, and also really sharing a number of the reasons why that is the opposite of the truth, and how vulnerability in the space in this era of entrepreneurship is going to be the catalyst to even more growth and more trust and deeper relationships that you build in your communities. Whether that be people who turn into clients or just building a community of people who really see you and trust you.
So good. You know, one of the things that popped into my head about this topic specifically is that we've seen the landscape of social media marketing change. Mm-hmm. And I think even before you came onto the scene, it was all about the perfect feed, the perfect image, the perfect aesthetic, that we were like calculating the design of the feed and the blocks and the this and the that. And we've seen the landscape change. And even in the last couple of years, right, we've gone from calculating how our feed is going to look and appear to what I saw, which was the pendulum swing all the way.
Totally.
Which was, doesn't fucking matter what you say, doesn't matter how you say it, doesn't, like, just throw it in your notes section of your phone, throw it up on your feed, right? And that works because most people, and we needed that pendulum swing because most people are fucking terrified to get it wrong.
Yes.
They struggle with deep perfectionism, right? And so that's actually an incredible tool. Even Simone Gray Soul, anybody who knows me knows it's not a conversation if we don't mention her name at least one time, has a garbage challenge, which if you haven't checked it out, it's on her podcast. Mm-hmm. And it's all about just anything and everything you're thinking, you make a post about it. You put it up on the internet for the world to see. Connect it to your offer. Don't connect it to your offer. It doesn't matter. But it's an activity to help people break through their perfectionism.
Yes.
But also what we're seeing is sort of this middle ground, which is where the pendulum is starting to fall back into equilibrium, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where we're being asked not just to throw it all up on the wall, but to become really intentional. And through that intentionality, share more of ourselves and more of our vulnerability and our raw, wild, naked truth with our audience.
Totally. And I love that you mentioned that, because something such as posting, like, let's say, like you're saying, the pendulum swing, right? I remember being so in that, like, the feed thing. And it was like every other day it was a hard post with words, and then it was photo. And it was a hard post with words, and then it was reel. And it was a hard post and then a reel. Where actually I was posting like a reel from a week, like something I had made a week prior, but I had woke up that morning with something so on my heart that I wanted to say. And I'd stop myself from posting it because it wasn't a words day. It was a real day. Mm-hmm. And there's so much potency and power in posting what is alive for you. And regardless of how that's going to look on your feed. And if that looks like posting it from the notes in your phone, there's that. And
there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with that. And simultaneously, like you're saying, is that we've gone from one side to the other. And then there's places where we can really find ourselves in the middle. Like you're saying, there can be intentionality. It doesn't mean that has to be perfectionism. There's a difference between perfectionism and intentionality.
Yes. Yes. Well, and I also think too, the new era of content creation and content marketing that we're in is letting people see your humanness.
Yes.
It's no longer, nobody wants to buy perfection. We're all too fucking smart for that. We all now have the conscious awareness that perfection is unattainable, unrealistic, and actually, for those of us walking a deeper path, know that we're here to deepen into our humanity, not some divine perfection.
Yes.
So if we're here to deepen into our humanity, then in fact, the very thing there is to do is to let people see your messy humanness, the raw, naked truth of who you are.
Yeah.
It builds deeper trust. It brings people closer to you and your experience. It gives people permission to be seen in their own messy humanness. I mean, how many of you guys would rather see a post that's like, how I made $1 million in 5 minutes, right? Or I fucking made $500,000 and spent every single dime, have nothing to show for it, but here's how I'm rebuilding.
Yes.
I'm so much more interested in that, because that means that that person has literally been in the arena testing and trying things on, and they're no different than me.
Yes.
They're a human and I'm a human. And I no longer have to hide my messy humanness because I'm seeing them in theirs, which is giving me the same permission.
Totally.
Well, and I think it's important that you speak to the hierarchy piece when it comes to that conversation too.
Yeah, definitely. And just to add on to what you were saying around that piece is even like I have really kind of refrained now from scrolling endlessly on my explore page, but it's like the amount of things that I see of like how I had a $70,000 month, how I made $30,000 in a week, how I did this, how I did that. It's just like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody has like a result, and it's great. There's no shame around that. I think it's beautiful that people are celebrating the wealth and how they found a way to create that for themselves. And everybody has a different blueprint. And I would much rather hear something like, here are the things that you maybe thought, made me a $30,000 5 days, or here are all the things that went wrong. And, I made $70,000 this month, and here are all the things that went wrong. Like,
yes,
it's like, I want to know that, because I can take all the information in that I can. And I feel like we all have by now. There's just so much information, and there is still power in that. But I think that the old way of being, when we talk about coaching and building an audience and making sales, is creating like a hot audience, right? Is building the know, like, and trust factor. And that in the past has been through authority and standing as the authority figure and the expert in the space and serving information and like educational things. Yes. And like, blah, like, it's just, there's just so much more opportunity now to bring in a new level of authenticity and vulnerability and showing the more not so like cookie cutter things.
Yes.
And like you were asking me to bring up was, even before we started recording this, I was really looking back on that there's a difference between, what did we say? Authority versus leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference between authority versus leadership. And I remember when I started off in the space, the coaching space, I was 21. And I know, what on earth? And I did. I mean, good for me.
Totally.
And that was so, I was like, oh yeah, I'm 21, I'm in the coaching space. And then I'd start getting, eyes on me or people seeing my reels and being like, who the fuck are you to be 21 and being a coach? You don't know anything. And then all of a sudden it's like with all this stuff in the coaching world at that time was like, be the authority in the space. And I was like, oh, right. I have to be so serious. I have to be the authority here. And what that ended up being was me showing up and having to act like I was perfect. I had no bad days. I knew everything. There was nothing I didn't know.
Totally.
And there was no room for my humanness. And over the years, what I've come to realize is that it's not as much anymore about being an authority. It's about being a leader. And what does leadership in this new era of entrepreneurship look like? Does it look like perfectionism and acting like a fucking robot? Or does it look like throwing some of your hot mess truth, humanness, messiness online and letting people see it as it's happening? Not I'm an authority in the space. Here's where I was 2 years ago, right? Nobody knew that I was in depression and that this was going on in my life, and here's where I am now, and here's what I can teach you about it. It's, hey, me in this past year, I was depressed. I had 2 miscarriages. I gained weight, right? There were all these things that were happening, and thank God, because of what I chose to lean into, was I was like, I'm not going to wait, because for somebody who has done so many, there's no shame that I haven't done a lot of work around sharing my before and after pictures, but there was still that oh God, do I wait until I'm on the other side of this so I can share with people, oh, here's what happened to me a year ago and you guys had no idea. And now I'm going to tell you about it because I figured it out. Versus, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Shit's hard. Oh, you remember the before and after picture I posted about how I, lost 100 pounds and only lose more and more and more weight? I actually gained 10 to 15 pounds. And I'm actually kind of struggling to love myself right now. I'm kind of struggling to get myself out of depression. And I'm showing up and letting you know that if this is what you're experiencing or have experienced, you're not alone. And I'm still a leader in this space because of that. Because
of your raw, authentic vulnerability. And leadership is boots on the ground. Leadership is I'm not, like you said, I'm not on the other side telling you the perfect tale of how it went and showing you all the roadblocks you can skip out on. Leadership is I'm fucking in the arena with you.
Yes.
I'm in the arena, I'm doing it, and I'm continuing to do it. And I may be a few steps ahead than where you are right now, but I'm no higher above you. And you're no lower above me. And this isn't a pedestal conversation. This isn't, I'm up here on this pedestal of grace.
Yes.
Right. And, I walked through something similar with the money and the mountains of debt. It was like, I kept getting this voice in my head of there was this deep inner knowing in my belly of you gotta do this. You gotta do this. And then the voice in my head, AKA my ego, who was terrified that people would leave me and that I'd be considered a fraud and blacklisted and all the things that the story and the mind makes up. This voice in my head that was like, well, just wait till you're on the other side. Wait till you're on the other side. Wait till you're on the other side. And then you can come out and you can have this big thing about how and then you paid up all this debt. And it's like the deep inner knowing in me, the soul calling in me was like, nah, fuck that. You got to do this now. You got to do this right now. And you can't wait until you're on the other side, because that is not where we are going as a collective. We are where we are, and the new marketing that we're creating and the new way we're leading through vulnerability in our businesses and in our brands is requiring us to messy middle.
Yes.
Hey, I'm in the messy fucking middle. And guess what? I'm still here. I'm still swinging. I'm still fighting. I'm still doing the thing that I told you I was doing. And I'm strengthening. I'm getting better. And I'm deepening into who I am and my humanity. And I'm a fucking human, by the way.
Yes.
I'm a fucking human, and I'm fucking things up. And guess what? It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
that's the piece, right? Is because you're not showing up and I'm not showing up saying, hey, here's where I am and I'm going to give you all the solutions for where I am. It's saying, I'm here and I don't have all the solutions. I'm letting you know I'm here. And here's what I'm choosing to lean into. Here's how I'm choosing to navigate this. Here's how I'm choosing to stand in my power. And I want you to know, because I know that it's going to be okay. Yes. I may not know the how and the when and the where and the why and all of those things, but I'm showing up to let you know that this is where I'm at. And that in itself is the fucking message. Mm-hmm. Making that stand is the fucking message. And as somebody who, I mean, we literally live a 5-second walk, next to each other, to reflect for you is like, from that place of you sharing your truth, like overnight, I watched your channel just crack the fuck open, like a whole new, like everything was just pouring in at once. It started just a whole new level of you really, like, your voice is so yours. Like it's as somebody who has just been blessed to know you for so long and has like seen your evolution, is I'm just like, fuck, like every post that you make is, it's like, this is yours. And that was through you choosing to show up in your truth. And ultimately from that place of being ready for you to liberate yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I really received that. And I will be the first to admit, like, I was terrified. And I had to, and here's what I also want to say is, and I hope that this gets to fast track anybody who's listening, your experience. I had to adopt 1,000,001 different people's voices before I could really find my own. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. It's part of the process. Mm-hmm. And my deepest prayer, my deepest wish, my deepest hope and intention for anybody who's listening to this is that they have the courage to find their own true voice. And that own true voice can only come through radical honesty and vulnerability. Yes. It's the key. It's the gateway. It's the permission for the unlocking of who we are and how we're meant to move through the world and share from a space of, like you said, I don't have all the answers. Yes. I am a messy human. Yes. And I'm still here and I'm still going. And, I remember like having that battle between wait till you're on the other side and the deep knowing of like, I have to do this now. Mm-hmm. I can't wait because I could feel the block, the constriction on the flow of energy that wanted to move. Mm-hmm. And I could feel the way that it was just like twisting my, like a kink in a hose, right? It was just like twisting and tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening because I was hiding behind this mask of success. I need people to see me a certain way. I'm a business coach. I can't have a mountain of debt. I have to have all my money shit figured out. I got to live in the Lakeview apartment in Austin. I got to be paying X amount of money in rent. Shit, we're still driving a Mazda that's so off brand. I should be driving an Audi by now, right? Mm-hmm. Like all these thoughts, like, oh my God, so embarrassing, but whatever. Mm-hmm. It's the way my brain works, right? And so all bullshit, total lies. Mm-hmm. So the thought, the idea that I'm going to come clean to my online community and let them know I have $60,000 in debt plus, fucked up with my taxes. I'm going to tell them that money has decreased over the last year. I'm probably making less than half of what I made the year before. Yeah. And I'm still in it and I'm still cleaning it up. Yep. And I'm not on the other side. I'm going to lead with that. Whoa. Right? The fear, the story. I mean, crippling. Yeah. Crippling, which is why it took me so long. I mean, I probably was sitting on this thing for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Why it took me so long to just even come clean to my own audience. And the other reason is because no one else was telling their story. I had
being a leader. And this is what it means to be a leader.
No one. Yeah. Leadership means going first.
Going first. And that's, as you're speaking, I was literally thinking about, like, you'll know when you're making a massive step. It's an edge, but you'll know when you're in the right direction, when you feel like you're about to do something that makes no fucking sense. And there's no one else is doing it. And there's nowhere that you can turn to go, oh, they've done this, so now I feel safe to do it. You're going to feel fucking exposed, which is, of course, one of the first offers that you came out with after that. And that's literally how it feels. Didn't Shiloh show you a picture the other night of what a turtle looks like without a shell?
Yeah.
That was you and I simultaneously in different ways this year. Like,
totally.
It's like naked. Like, that's how it feels.
Toes curled over the edge. And I had no one in the industry that I could relate to. There was no one. And I was looking, trust me. And nobody was telling the story, and nobody was really sharing. Or if they had shared, they were well on the other side of the story. Really? I had nobody that was like, I'm in it.
Yep.
And shit's kind of fucked up right now, and it's hard and it's scary, and yet here we are. And what I will say is that as soon as I liberated myself from that mask, people didn't leave. Maybe some people did. I don't know. I'm not the coach for them. Mm-hmm. People didn't leave. They didn't hate me. They didn't come pitchfork my house. You know what I mean? Like, probably having a past life flashback or something, didn't come pitchfork my house. And in fact, I had so many women reaching out saying, thank you for telling this story. I'm not ready to tell mine, but I'm so grateful. Or, hey, Emily, I want you to be on my podcast. This story is epic and I want to tell it. Hey, Emily, I just came clean to my own audience. Let's do a co-Instagram live together, right? Like, the opportunities, and I did not do it for the opportunities. Yes. So this is right. In our last episode, we talked about energetics.
Yes.
What is the energy behind what you're doing? I didn't do it for more likes. I didn't do it to get clients. I didn't do it to get opportunities. I did it because I needed to do it for myself, period. I needed to liberate myself from my own mask of success. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. First for me always, second for you, to give you the permission to give you the courage, the strength, and the confidence to know it's safe for you to get naked, exposed, vulnerable. And in fact, it's not going to hurt your brand, it's going to transform your brand.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking mic drop on that one.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Well, because you and I both, through like coming out with our different stories over the past year, is it's like even from that place, it's like from there you were just getting downloads of like, oh, this is supposed to change. Oh, this is what's next. Oh, this is what's next. And for me, I was like, oh, this isn't the 90-day glow up anymore. This is now Woman on Fire. And now I'm going to run a program on how to love your body exactly how it is. And that wasn't something that I was, although I promote body positivity, I wasn't in that space yet because a part of me wasn't ready to meet myself there. And it's like the feeling stagnant in your business at all, or feeling complacent, or feeling like, I feel like I'm just like trying to regurgitate the same message over and over again. It's like, take a pause for a minute and step out of, like, there's always an opportunity to get into the mind of your client. How about you look at your own life experience and what's coming up for you? Because I guarantee you there are more people than you could even imagine who are experiencing the same thing. And in your mind, you may say, no, there's no way. There's no way anybody else feels this way. This is so specific. This is so not what's out there, right? Nobody else is talking about this. Exactly. Your life is the message. You are your business. Your brand is the way that you make people feel.
Yeah. And it's no longer, right? And that's an important thing to share, which connects kind of the beginning of our conversation around, it's not just what you know.
Yes.
It's not just the information that makes you the authority or the expert. It's who you be.
Yes. Yes.
And how you move through the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the energetics behind the things you do and say and what you say and how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just tell me, show me.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Well, because coaching relationships too is not only like, oh, this is the place I want to be held, but it's like, it's the person that you feel compelled by, like if you're really, tuning into it from that place. And it always is, it's always a part of it. It's like, oh, do I want to hang out with this person for 3 months? Like, that's also what it's about, because it's part,
100%.
You're coming at it from that place is, we can speak for ourselves, is it's also part sisterhood and part friendship. And it's, people aren't looking at you and wanting you to be perfect. They want you to be somebody that they can lean on and they can trust, and that they just want to hang out with. And that means somebody that they feel comfortable around and somebody that they feel like they can relate to. It's also like a friend.
And someone they feel safe with.
Yes. Exactly.
Someone they feel safe with and someone they feel seen by.
Yes.
And we feel safest with the people we feel seen by.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the piece around vulnerability, because I was sitting here and thinking about one of the things that I really desire to expand into for myself in 2023 with my clients is this concept of brand rewilding. And brand rewilding isn't just about the images and the look and the feel, but it's really about the rewilding of yourself, of your soul, of your message, which can only come through radical honesty and vulnerability. And guess what happens when we start to approach our content through radical honesty and vulnerability is we stop copycatting what everybody else is doing, because their life and their results is not my life and my results. And their message isn't my message, and nor was it ever meant to be. But we've gotten lazy in an industry where we can just pop on our explore feed and grab somebody's trending sound and put our own twist to it, versus actually standing in the unique expression of our voice.
Yes.
And if we're not liberated behind our own mask of success, then we can't even come close to discovering the unique expression of our voice.
Yes. Exactly. Because, and like, I just had this thing come into my mind. It's and that's where we think, oh, we want more likes on our posts and we want more this and we want more that. What you're really wanting is to feel confident in what it is that you're posting. And to feel confident in what it is that you're posting, does that look like copycatting somebody else's stuff? Does that look like, and it's not like, oh, you're copying them. It's just does that feel good? Does that feel like you? Or does it feel like a watered down, not so much version of you? Because it's underneath the metrics and the this and the that. What I've really found through stepping into my own authenticity and finding my voice is, oh, wow, I was actually just looking to post something and say, that's fucking good. That feels like me.
Yes.
That confidence and that potency and that power in damn, that's good.
regardless of how many people like it or comment or share it or save it, because I see a lot of coaches be like, okay, I'm ready to come clean. I'm ready to change my brand. I'm ready to rewild. I'm ready to this. I'm ready to that. Well, that post didn't do very good, but it felt really me, but it only got 2 likes, and maybe my message isn't right and it's not what people want. And so that's not going to be what they buy. You have to be willing to have your engagement dip.
Yeah.
To let go of the metrics, to have people not get your message at first.
Yeah.
To not have it hit right away. Stop seeking external validation in the numbers and the metrics, and instead use the barometer inside of your own body, heart, soul, and system that says, I feel so fucking lit up and on fire by this message and what wants to pour through me right now. I don't even give a fuck how many people like it. That's power. That's leadership. That's innovation.
Yep.
And that's where we're going.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Fucking love this episode.
No, guys, if you're not like sitting in your seat right now about to like take off, like you just lit the biggest fire under your ass, you got to go back and re-listen to this, because I mean, come on.
Yeah. And here's what else I'll say. Create a vulnerable post this week.
Yes.
Share something wildly authentic. Invite yourself to meet an edge in your content you haven't been willing to meet yet. Do it scared, do it messy, do it sharing and showing your humanity. And tag us. Yes. Share with us.
Yes.
Let us support you. Let us be your biggest fans in what you're putting out into the world. Because this is a movement. And we need all of us invested in creating in this new way.
Yes. I love that. The little action step.
Hell yeah. Fucking don't come here for a passive experience.
Get out there. Go walk the talk now.
That's right. That's right. We're inviting you guys to rise. And we couldn't do it if we weren't willing to do it ourselves and go first.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So good.
So good. Yeah, go post something and tag us in it. We'd love to support you.
Yep. Tag us at straight to #2, the point series. We're here. We see you guys. We're supporting you. We're holding the vision for the movement of what this new marketing era gets to be. If you haven't already, like and subscribe on Apple and Spotify podcast Straight to the Point series. We're also on TikTok. Same handle as our Instagram. We'll make sure all the details are in the show notes for you guys. As well as our YouTube channel. If you want to watch this thing with video and not just the audio, you can go check us out there at Straight to TO, the Point series on YouTube. We'll make sure that link is connected as well. And then you can connect with me personally at the.emilyfitz.
And you can connect with me at the.truly.molly.
We see you guys leaning in, doing it. Thank you.
So good. So good.
So good.
See you on our next episode.